Beautiful souls, welcome back to my channel. I am the Soul Leader. So today I was looking over something that I was writing down when I was reading James chapter 1 verses 19 through 27. And when I was reading it and reflecting, some words stuck out to me, which was freedom, faultless, pure, accepted, mirrors, listening, slow to speak, anger, righteousness, desires of the heart. All of these things stuck out to me, right? And I started to reflect over my life. And I wanted to give a little small testimony about what I've learned in my life. And I hope and pray that this helps you in any type of way. Like I said, this channel is all about healing. I'm bearing out some things about myself, hoping that it can get the process of healing going in your life. So let me elaborate on what I got from the freedom of reflecting on yourself and not forgetting who you are, and what type of freedom comes from listening, and the wisdom that comes from listening and being slow to speak. And I'm only speaking based off an experience, because this doesn't always happening. This is still new to me. So I have said some foul things, some cold, mean things, and I've hurt feelings, and I've made people cry, and I have gossiped. I had slandered before, and I'm sorry, I had to put my phone back on the charger. I can admit this because when I have done these things, I was angry, and the door was open, and it was an eye opener. Not an eye opener, but it was an eye for an eye. And my mindset was different. I was operating from my lowest self, and I was full of pain, anger, sadness, loneliness, and I didn't know myself. I was experiencing the generational curse. I was in a place of not understanding where I was and why. And when time went on, and from experience and gaining some wisdom from it, listening is a gift. And at the time, for me to naturally know that I was not listening with intent to understand, why I was quickly reacting. And see, I was creating karma as well as those who was wronging me at the point. And how I reacted to what was happening to me, and not realizing that it was for me. It was an eye opener. It was a dog eat dog world. It was red. It was rage. I will hurt you if you come close. I will cut you. How people treat you is their karma, and how you react is yours. That is a quote from Wayne W. Dyer. That's basically what I was dealing with. And my thoughts were corrupted until I began to transmute my anger and put it into my talents. And when I chose to focus, and no longer was I receiving that bad karma. Even when someone has done something, I did not always react. I would remove myself from the situation, and karma would start to take over. And over time, people would start talking bad about someone to me, and the red flag would show up. And I started noticing, like, hold up, if they talking about them to me, well, then they'll deceive me too. There's a difference in talking about someone and talking about a situation, but to someone you can trust and confide in. And I started to not pay attention to what people say, but to what they do. And it made it easier to spot the nonsense and simpler to choose wisely my battles. And when I used to react, I noticed that bad things would happen to me too. You know, I was a kid. Do you know how I taught my way out of fights, and how I convinced people to stop fighting because they were fighting for nothing? The same mouth that almost caused its own death has been the same mouth that have saved itself. I don't say this to put myself on no pedestal. I'm saying that At a young age, I understood how karma works and the power of the tongue and thoughts and seeking vengeance and why you shouldn't. We are all born knowing righteousness. We are taught evil things or evil things are done to us that cause us to either allow it to happen to us or for us. That alters who you are and you suffer an identity crisis. That's why we react the opposite of God when we are angry. Some of us look in the mirror and see that outward appearance. That appearance decays, and so will your spirit if you do not feed it the food that it only knows. It's a process to unlearn these bad behaviors and to choose to accept righteousness. When you are alone, no one knows what your real insecurity or fear or secrets are. Under that mask we put on, no one but God knows what we've been through, where you're going, and where you are. We all make mistakes. And in knowing this and knowing how broken as a society people are, you could remember the next time you're about to say something filthy back or about someone to someone. Don't give your power away like that. You get back what you put out into this world. And yes, your ego can tell you to say this or that, but is it speaking life or death to someone or over someone? You can keep some things to yourself. Everything is not does not need to be said, especially if it's unwholesome. There's truth, then there's the truth in her. There's the truth in him. But there's the truth, the only truth, and one truth. Keeping it real does not equate to the truth. It only equates to your truth and your feelings. That's why people always say, well, let me get it off my chest. Putting all that venom out into the world only for their karma to come back to them. 1 Peter 2:1. Therefore, rid yourself of all malice and deceit, hypocrisy and envy and slander of every kind. 1 Peter 2:11. Dear friends, I urge you, as foreigners and exiles, to abstain from sinful desires which wage war against your soul. That is proof of the word back in the word in itself. You know, what I do want to say is that one thing I learned about listening is sometimes some people have a hard time expressing themselves. And they'll tell on themselves without even knowing it. But if you listen with the intent to understand, sometimes you'll hear what people really mean, whether it's something good or bad. You'll really hear and understand. Or say when an argument is coming about, you can feel the energy is off. So in that moment, you can choose to engage or disengage. And when you choose to disengage, you hold tight to your power and you allow that person to let anger overpower them. But because you can't control them, but you can control you. When you know what you're dealing with, you will move and operate better. Because when you choose your battles wisely, you won't make decisions to upset your day or lower your frequency because someone else is operating in their lower frequency. You get what I'm saying? It's like you can choose to still have a good day and disagree with somebody without being upset about it. I'm not saying that you won't get upset, because there's going to be times that you will. And there will be times that will be justified, but how you react won't always be justified. So with that being said, beautiful souls, peace and blessings until next time. Let me help you, and together we can help one another. Peace and blessings.